Anthony Quinn has finally spoken openly about Charles Bronson, and the moment he chose to do it carries serious weight. Born on April 21, 1915 in Chihuahua, Mexico, as Manuel Antonio Rulo Quinn Wajaka, Anthony Quinn didn't simply experience life. He fought through it and transformed that fight into something unforgettable. His journey is a clear reflection of resilience, grind, and the power of rebuilding yourself when the odds never let up. Raised by a Mexican mother and a father of Irish descent, Quinn faced hardship early. After his family relocated to Los Angeles, struggle wasn't temporary, it was constant. Survival meant taking on brutal labor, boxing, construction, anything that brought money home and kept the family standing. That tough upbringing later shaped his screen presence, giving his performances a raw, grounded intensity that felt authentic rather than polished or artificial. A turning point arrived when Quinn shifted toward art and architecture, a decision that redirected his entire future. He studied under the legendary Frank Lloyd Wright, who immediately recognized something striking in Quinn. Wright noticed his expressive face and commanding energy and encouraged him to step into acting. That single push opened a door that would never truly close. Quinn entered the film world in the 1930s, but Hollywood was quick to limit him. He was repeatedly placed in small, stereotyped ethnic roles, boxed in by an industry unwilling to see beyond labels. Even so, Quinn stayed focused, worked relentlessly, and refused to let typecasting decide his fate. That persistence paid off in the early 1950s, when his performances began carrying more depth and power. His major breakthrough came in 1952 with Viva Zapata, where he played Eufemio Zapata, the fiery brother of Emiliano Zapata. The role earned him his first Academy Award, making him the first Mexican-born actor to win an Oscar. He followed that success in 1956 with Lust for Life, delivering an intense and emotionally heavy performance as painter Paul Gauguin. That role secured his second Oscar and cemented his place among Hollywood's true heavyweights. Quinn reached full cultural icon status in 1964 with his unforgettable role as Alexis Zorba in Zorba the Greek. That performance didn't just elevate his career, it permanently fused his name with the character. Bold, soulful, fearless, and bursting with life, Quinn didn't rely on tricks. He simply was Zorba. The role earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor and introduced him to an entirely new global audience. Zorba became more than a character. He stood as a symbol of joy, endurance, and refusing to let life crush your spirit. That energy mirrored Quinn's own outlook so closely it felt as if the role had been pulled straight from his real-life essence. Audiences didn't just watch Zorba, they connected with him deeply. Throughout his long career, Quinn appeared in more than 150 films, moving effortlessly between genres, countries, and languages. He portrayed powerful historical and religious figures, including Jesus Christ in Road to Eternity, Barabbas in Barabbas, 1961, and Auda Abu Tayi in Lawrence of Arabia, 1962. In every role, he brought gravity, pride, and genuine emotion, never allowing them to slip into hollow stereotypes. What truly separated Quinn from others was his ability to balance strength with vulnerability. He could appear indestructible one moment, then emotionally exposed the next, and audiences felt that contrast. Acting wasn't his only creative outlet. Away from the camera, Quinn was a dedicated painter, sculptor, and writer. His artwork appeared in galleries around the world, filled with cultural influence, emotional force, and bold expression. He believed creativity had no boundaries and attacked every artistic form with the same fearless energy that defined his acting. Quinn also poured depth into his writing. His memoirs revealed a man constantly wrestling with identity, purpose, and the true meaning of success. He questioned himself relentlessly, never settling, never growing complacent, and that internal drive shaped both his art and his life. Off-screen, Quinn's personal life was just as intense and layered as the characters he portrayed. His relationships stretched across decades and were driven by love, loyalty, and a restless energy he often struggled to control. He was deeply devoted to family, yet impulsive, always chasing something more, even when it came at the cost of peace. In 1937, Quinn married actress Catherine DeMille, a decision that quickly reshaped his life. Catherine was the adopted daughter of Cecil B. DeMille, one of Hollywood's most powerful and influential directors. For Quinn, who had grown up poor after immigrating from Mexico and spent years grinding through rejection and minor roles, this marriage opened doors previously out of reach. It provided emotional stability and strong industry connections. Though Quinn remained determined to succeed on talent rather than family ties, those connections helped him establish a stronger foothold. Together, Anthony and Catherine had 5 children and presented themselves publicly as a respectable Hollywood family. Catherine focused on building a stable home while supporting Quinn as his career rose from supporting roles to commanding dramatic performances. But as fame increased, so did pressure. Quinn's temper, inner conflicts, and relentless appetite for life began weakening the foundation of the marriage. His growing reputation for infidelity and constant rumors slowly pulled them apart. Later in life, Quinn didn't deny his mistakes. He openly admitted to repeated unfaithfulness, driven by impulse, ego, and an unending hunger for emotional and physical excitement. Those choices caused deep pain and gradually destroyed trust. After nearly 3 decades together, filled with shared success and mounting resentment, the marriage ended in 1965. Just a year later, in 1966, Quinn married Yolanda Adalori, a much younger Italian costume designer. Yolanda brought European flair, artistic energy, and renewed passion into his life. For Quinn, it felt like reinvention. They had 3 children together, and for a time, stability seemed possible. Quinn split his life between Hollywood and Europe, juggling films, painting, writing, and constant travel. Yolanda managed daily life and remained closely involved in his career. On the surface, balance appeared intact, but old habits returned. Quinn struggled with fidelity once again, damaging the marriage. During this period, he maintained a long-term relationship with Friedel Dunbar, with whom he had 2 children. That situation eventually became public, triggering emotional and legal consequences. Quinn was also widely rumored, and at times openly acknowledged, to have relationships with major Hollywood figures including Carole Lombard, Rita Hayworth, Ingrid Bergman, and Rhonda Fleming. These relationships added to his image as magnetic and fearless, but also highlighted deep flaws. By the 1990s, after more than 30 years together, his marriage to Yolanda was near collapse. Years of wounds and lost trust finally broke it. The final blow came when Quinn entered a relationship with his secretary, Catherine Benvin, resulting in 2 more children. In 1997, Quinn and Yolanda divorced in a bitter and highly public split, closing another intense chapter of his life. Not long after, Quinn married Catherine Benvin, formalizing a relationship that had already reshaped his later years. Even at an advanced age, Quinn remained deeply involved in family life, embracing fatherhood once again. This final marriage reflected both growth and contradiction, his desire for companionship clashing with long-standing patterns. For decades, Quinn was often asked about other Hollywood legends, but one name always caused a pause: Charles Bronson. The two were frequently compared, both known for rugged masculinity and a quiet intensity. Later in life, Quinn finally spoke about Bronson with calm respect. He rejected the public image, explaining that Bronson's toughness was armor, not emptiness. Quinn saw a shared background of hardship and survival that shaped Bronson's powerful screen presence. When critics dismissed Bronson as one-dimensional, Quinn strongly disagreed. He emphasized that Bronson's silence carried meaning, that every movement required discipline and intelligence. Quinn acknowledged Bronson's guarded nature, explaining it as self-protection rooted in a difficult upbringing. According to Quinn, Bronson's toughness wasn't ego, it was survival. He also noted their differences, describing himself as thriving in chaos while Bronson preferred solitude, space, and control. Quinn respected Bronson for refusing to conform to Hollywood's attempts to soften him. To Quinn, Bronson symbolized the working man who absorbs punishment and keeps standing. He aimed not to mythologize Bronson, but to humanize him, acknowledging flaws while honoring honesty. In his final years, Anthony Quinn stepped away from Hollywood and settled in Bristol, Rhode Island. The quiet coastal town offered peace after decades of intensity. On June 3, 2001, Quinn passed away at age 86 due to respiratory failure caused by complications from lung cancer treatment. His death marked the end of a legendary life that crossed cultures and generations of cinema. His funeral was held at the First Baptist Church in America in Providence, Rhode Island. In a final personal request, his wife asked that he be buried in their own backyard in Bristol, beneath an old maple tree overlooking the bay. The town approved. It was a quiet ending for a man who lived loudly, fearlessly, and fully, leaving behind art, memory, and a legacy that still echoes.